Hello, welcome back to another Tech Ambrosia Saturday stream. Hope everybody's had a good week. I hope Thanksgiving hasn't been too bad for anybody, or too stressful. And I hope everybody's having a good time. It's been pretty all right for me this week. Mostly it's just been me. I've spent some time on Discord with some of my friends. It was really nice, and yeah. Anyway, we got a lot of folks here today. Hello. Hello. Toughbook Tech is here. Hello, welcome to the stream. Trina's Technobabble is here. Hello, welcome to the stream. Who else is here? Jack68K is here. Hello, welcome, Jack. And Samsung Simp is back. Hello, welcome to the stream. So today, if you had watched Big Bad Biologist's Friday stream, the surprise Friday stream, where he tried Vegemite, I mentioned in the chat that I was going to try and build my streaming PC, and I forgot that my current streaming card, the AverMedia Live Gamer, doesn't work in Linux, and I want my next streaming PC to be a Linux machine. So that's going to have to go on the back burner for a bit, because I'm in a strictly no buying stuff mode right now. That doesn't count, Trina, for the GTX 970, because I'm yeah. Trina's my connection for weird old graphics cards. But like for regular other stuff, like no buying anything right now. Saving up money for the move in March, and no buying goodies, unfortunately. So that's just gonna have to be on the back burner for a while, unfortunately. Hopefully I don't have any problems with my gaming PC coming up until then. Fingers crossed. Yeah, no, it's really annoying. Starbucks says it stinks it doesn't work in Linux. Yeah, considering how much it costs, that they don't have any Linux drivers whatsoever, like not even a blob, it's really frustrating. Like I would prefer, open source compilable drivers so I can use whatever kernel I want, but, I'll take a blob. I'll like shoehorn my streaming machine's OS to use the correct version of Linux for a blob driver, but like they don't even have that. Oh, it's annoying. What distro am I planning on using? Actually, I haven't decided yet. I usually, like, if I'm just building a Linux server machine, my camera's gotten all wonky here. I'm just building like a Linux server machine, I'll usually just do Debian, because it just works, right? Like, as old as Debian's packages are, they're there for a reason, right? Like, they're super stable. But for streaming stuff, I'm guessing I'm gonna have to get a little more bleeding edge than Debian can do. So I'm thinking maybe, I don't know, maybe Pop OS. I know they have good NVIDIA support on that OS, on that distribution, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna want some kind of an NVIDIA card for NVENC. I mean, the two systems I had, my two possible systems are my two Optiplexes that I've got from Cheap PC Challenges the past couple of years. I've got the small form factor one that I turned into a Haiku machine a couple of weeks ago, which, funny story, we got that all working great on stream, and then I put it behind my monitor and I plugged everything in, and now it won't boot. It's not Haiku's fault. It's something with the computer. It just won't boot. So I've got to take a look at that and figure out what's going on with it, or turn it into my streaming PC and not think about it ever again. But then there's the like mid-tower Optiplex that I got for this year's Cheap PC Challenge, which is actually pretty great because it's a mid-tower. It takes full-size PCI cards and it's got like 4 slots, so that could conceivably, hold a couple of interesting cards in there for activities, including a full-size GPU instead of a low-profile GPU, and my AverMedia card is a full-size card, so I wouldn't have to like go hunting for a small form factor card that also works in Linux, which I don't think exists. Maybe the Magewell one does, but that's like $1,000. I'm not going to spend $1,000 on a Linux streaming card. No thanks. Starbucks says I use MX, Ubuntu, Kali, Fedora, Mint, Pop! OS, and Manjaro. So you use a few distributions of Linux. I mostly do Debian. I have dabbled with Pop! OS a little bit when I had my home lab actually running. My home lab was not running on Pop! OS, but I had Pop! OS VM in the home lab because I took the 2 graphic cards that I had in the home lab and I redirected them to Pop! OS to see if I could like do some machine learning stuff on it, and it worked just fine. That home lab was running Proxmox, which was also pretty good. Of course, Debian based. What is MX? I don't know what MX is. MX is a great Debian distro. I'm not familiar with MX. MX Linux. All right. Well, I guess I'll just do some research on it. I have no idea. All right. Trina, this is not Thanksgiving here in Canada. Yeah, well, I mean, not everybody's perfect. I say that, but like, this is my least favorite holiday of the year. I hate Thanksgiving. The food is bad. What we're celebrating is bad. Like, it's just bad. It's just a bad holiday. I don't like Thanksgiving at all. mxlinux.org. Thank you. Awesome. Samsung Simp asks, what about Mint? I did try Mint many years ago. Mint is fine. I'm a little bit more advanced than a Mint user, having in the past rolled up a Gen 2 distribution, and you know I've done Alpine and Arch Linux as well. The reason I use Debian isn't that I'm not familiar with other distributions. It's just that I know how to fix things in Debian, and that's like the way that Debian works. Mostly, although they're really starting to go all in on systemd, and I really don't like systemd. Boy, I don't like systemd. So my home lab died. I think the CPU actually like lost a memory channel, so I've got it's in the other room. I've got the replacement CPU. I just have to put it all back together. So at the moment, I have all my RAID arrays plugged into one of those early AMD APUs because it had enough slots and enough SATA connections that I could plug all my hard drives back into it. Definitely not running at peak performance at this point, but you know I have access to all my storage anyway. But it's just running regular Debian. I think unstable Trixie, and good lord, the systemd configuration in it. If you have things defined, you have file systems defined in your FS tab, right? /etc//FS tab. If any of those don't come online, the moment that systemd tries to mount them, it pulls the whole OS into single user mode and freaks out. So you turn on your NAS, and then you're like, where is it on my network? It's not showing up. I can't SSH into it. Samba's not responding. Nothing is responding. And it's because systemd has pulled it into single user mode because one of the RAID arrays decided to take a second or two to mount, and that was unacceptable. So at this point, I have my FS tab. Basically, it only defines the root file system, which is I think on an NVMe. So like, who cares? It'll always be there. And then I log into it. I SSH into it once I boot it up. Like if I have to reboot the thing, I'll SSH into it, and I'll run a script that auto mounts all of my RAID arrays, which takes, oh no, like 3 or 4 seconds for everything to come online. And that's apparently too much time for systemd to wait. I hate systemd. I really hate systemd. Jack68 says, is this a feature? So systemd has a long and storied history. A few engineers from Apple broke off, and they were doing the Darwin thing, right? The open source XNU kernel. But they also made a couple of other things, like the Avahi daemon for like zeroconf Wi-Fi stuff, and something else. And systemd is part of that. And these guys, man, they really like it's systemd's way or the highway with these guys, which is really annoying because systemd doesn't act like Linux. It acts like it feels more like Solaris, if you've ever used Solaris, where you have like, you have to like, you know, plead your case to one of the system daemons and hopefully it'll configure the thing correctly for you. You can't just go in and like edit some configuration files like Linux or System 5. You know, you have to like go through the daemon to make the thing happen, and it's really annoying. It's like you have a middleman inside your computer. Like, I don't want this. This is why I'm getting away from Windows. I don't want middlemen inside my computer. Yes, thank you. Someone else understands GotPom's systemd sucks. Yeah, it super does. Anyway, let's look at this computer that we're taking a look at today. We'll stop talking about systemd. Ugh. So this thing was a donation to the channel over 2 years ago at this point. Unfortunately, I am stupid and I did not write down who donated it. I know it was somebody in the Pixel Pipes Discord, and I don't know who. You know that meme where, I think it's on Tumblr, where somebody's like, "I'll remember is the ADHD demon talking. You won't remember. Write it down." That's what happened with this one. Like, oh, I'll remember who gave this to me. I don't remember. The ADHD demon got me. And I did not write it down, and that was not a great idea. But this thing's pretty cool. I don't know if you can tell by the scale. I don't have a banana handy, but here's a mouse for scale, right? So here's, you know, here's your mom's Logitech mouse from like 2002 for scale. This thing is tiny. This is a, like, I think it's a 12-inch, 12.1-inch laptop. It's not big, which is one of the things that intrigued me about it. I love small laptops. I don't know if I've said this enough on the channel, but I'm a huge fan of tiny laptops, and this one immediately caught my interest. There's a couple of other cool things about it. You probably noticed in the thumbnail, the trackpad on it is circular. Also, it's got a very strange cover design. You can see it tries to be pretty thin and light, but it's got this really bulky midsection, and this front part here hides a SIM card for wide area networking. We've got some standard ports on the bottom. This is battery. I believe that's hard drive, and that is RAM. Easily accessible. The rest of it, I don't believe I've opened this. I did test it yesterday to see if it still works. It does still function. We'll take a look at it when we power it on in a second. As far as ports, we've got we've got power, we've got VGA, there's a dock connector, and then PCMCIA, and a little tiny SD card slot. And on the other side, we've got 3 unknown speed USB ports. I think they're USB 2.0. We have Ethernet of an unknown speed, and a modem jack, which should help age this machine appropriately. The front has controls on it. We've got the power button over here. Power button, audio in and out. This, I think, is a Wi-Fi switch. Yes, that is a Wi-Fi switch, a hard Wi-Fi switch. Indicator lights. And then this one is... this one I'll show you in a minute. So, the reason that this is not just a let's mess around with this laptop stream, and it is specifically cleaning and testing, is because the person who donated this to the channel, unfortunately, before they could pack it up into a box, their kids got a hold of it. So unfortunately, it needs some cleaning pretty badly. But there's that wild circular trackpad, and let's get this thing plugged in. I'll show you the rest of the stuff in this. Hence the wide array of cleaning products here. And like, I couldn't remember how long ago it was that I got this thing donated to the channel, but like, I bought these specifically for cleaning this, and haven't used them for anything else. And the date code on them is 2022, so it's definitely at least 2 years ago. Oh, I'm terrible. Oh, all right, so let's switch over to the desk cam. There we go. Excuse me, Clippy. I'm going to continue. I will continue streaming. Unaware of cringe, thank you. Okay, so this is the machine. It's pretty dirty, but let's get some power plugged into it, and we'll see what it does. Well, I'll show you what it does. I don't know if this has a drive in it. If it doesn't, I don't actually know if I have a laptop SD to IDE on me right now. I think the last one I used went into my PowerBook G3 Pismo, which, as much as I love this thing, that's definitely where it should have gone. So let's turn this thing on. We've got the power switch down here. It did not turn on. What is going on? There we go. Green light powered on. Pull this back a little so y'all can see it a little better. There we go. Oh. Yeah, and this switch on the side, yeah, that's where the CD-ROM drive is. Look at that. So this was the other reason that I wanted to snag this thing and take a look at it. So many years ago, I had, I think it's a CF25 Toughbook. It's a big bulky thing. It was like that thick, like 2 inches thick. Magnesium metal top. It was another one of these weird ones. It was about 12 inches, and you pulled a lever just under the spacebar, and the entire keyboard would motor up, and then the CD tray would extend from inside the laptop. It was the wildest thing I'd ever seen. This seems to be like the spiritual successor to that. Although we don't have a motorized keyboard anymore, which honestly is probably good for longevity, we do get the under the keyboard optical drive, which I love. It's just such a wild design. So this originally shipped with Vista Business. I've got a Burn CDO Vista Business on here. We'll see if this thing will boot it. Trina says this is why I have cats and not kids. So the screen's not amazing. You can see on the sticker here, this is a Core 2. So we're looking at like, I don't know, 2006, 2007-ish, 2008 maybe. So yeah, you can believe this is a TN LCD with a cold cathode, backlight. It's not great. Not the greatest display quality. The bezels are nice and slim, but like not the greatest display quality. Charlotte is here. Hello, Charlotte. Charlotte says, wow, that trackpad design is so 2000s. It should be wearing a trench coat and sunglasses. For real. This is the laptop you use to hack into the Matrix. Gutbomb asks, so is this thing actually tough like the older Toughbooks, or is it just marketing at this point? So this is one of Panasonic's like office Toughbook models. The lifestyle Toughbook. This is not the kind of hardened Toughbooks that we're used to. They were still selling those at this time. They were the ones that you would see with like the like black anodized aluminum, LCD screen cases with like the rubber edges on them and stuff like that. This one just kind of got the Toughbook name. Most of the screen backing is metal. A lot of it is plastic though. So I wouldn't consider it tough per se. You can see we've got a couple of backlight hot spots. So there's probably some crinkling on the paper on the inside. Yeah, exactly. exactly. A lot of those ended up in police cars. These probably not. But yeah, the really rugged ones usually ended up in police cars. Or in the military, which is no better. David Starbucks says, what the heck is on that keyboard? Looks like dried blood. It is marker. Looks like colored Sharpie. The person who donated this to the channel, unfortunately, their kids got to it before they could pack it up and send it. So, yeah, there's a murder on the keyboard. So this is as far as I've gotten it to get so far, is this. We've loaded files, and it appears Vista appears to have crashed after loading. So one of the things I wanted to try is booting this thing up off of Windows XP, something a little older. Yeah, Jack68K says, better the keyboard than the screen. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, long story short, Samsung Simp asks why. A lot of my family serve the community. So, what community did they serve? Think about that for a second. The problem with police is that they are class traitors, right? These are workers who police other workers and harass other workers. ACAB. Yeah, I've got cops in my family too, and ACAB for them too. They're not good. Just the profession isn't a good profession. And you know, it's not like you're born a cop. You can just stop being a police officer and just do something else. But, you know, cops choose to be cops, and they choose to be class traitors. Okay, so that doesn't seem to be booting. So let's burn a Windows XP disk. Get this thing booting something. And it might be that the disk, that the hard drive in this thing is dead. And it's just it's trying to scan the IDE bus, and it's picking up this dead hard drive, and it just won't boot anyway. But I want to try XP one real quick sec. See if that works. And see if there's anything in there. Alrighty. Where is my... Where's my XP disk? Oh, let's see. I have so much stuff. There we go. Software. Windows. XP. Come on, alcohol. You can do it. There we go. Okay. Run that at minimum speed and go. Should take a couple of minutes here. So I don't think this thing will boot off of USB, but let's see if we can get into the BIOS on it. It does take a long time to get to BIOS. which makes me think that there is a disk in there and it's dead. I8386SX says the dermatologists at one of my previous employers use these because they're so light. Jack68K, do dermatologists require particularly light laptops? Well, you know, they don't want to damage their delicate skin. Sorry, I had to make the joke. All right, so what do we get? Like, you can see that the viewing angles on this LCD are atrocious. Like, that's some of the worst I've ever seen. Oh, that's so bad. All right, so what do we got in here? Like, I'm holding this so that y'all can see this. I can't read it. I gotta look at the stream to see what it's doing. So what do we have? We've got info. 3 gigs of RAM, supposedly. That's pretty great. Yeah, I cannot read that. Boy, that's bad. Boy, that is bad. It's keeping the date. That's pretty great. Time's not quite right. Touchpad enabled. You can turn off the touchpad if you want. Display goes to external monitor. You turn off the optical drive completely. Well, it's virtualization capable, and it's currently turned off. That's pretty normal for like corporate-ish laptops. But this would be like something you get in a corporate environment. I don't think Panasonic even has like personal, individual sales. I think it's all B2B with Panasonic, I think. Oh, we got the modem turned on. That's important. USB port, USB legacy port. Boot. CD DVD drive, hard disk. Yeah, I bet it does not see that drive. It's either not there or it's broken. Yeah, hard disk empty. Well, why don't we do that first, huh? Let's open it up and see if there is a drive in there or not. I'm out. I'm out. Like I said, I'm out of SD to IDEs that fit in laptops. So the 44-pin ones I'm out of. But I do have. Like I said, I swapped my Pismo for an SD to IDE, and I have the Pismo's hard drive, so we could put that in here. It doesn't sound great, but it does work. All right, so let's get out of here. I'll just turn it off. Okay, let's open this thing up. Jack68K says, I wonder how many of these had broken CD doors. That's a good question. I don't know. I'd be curious to know how they would break. Unless you just put too much pressure on the palm rest, because the CD drive does turn into the palm rest. So let's open up what I think is the hard drive module. That needs a much finer pitch screwdriver. it. Oh, no, of course. We're gonna get that one under the foot. Sneaky. Will this get out of here? Oh, I wonder if I check the battery out first. I'll bet that's it. So we get I've taken the battery out before. Why is it not? Oh, there we go. It's because it comes out in a weird way. Yep, there's one more screw. Of course there's one more screw. Right in there. Inside the battery bay. Jerks. Okay. You gonna come out of there? I feel like it slides backwards. No, it definitely does not slide backwards. Maybe it slides over. I wonder if I have to take out this screw as well. I don't know. That might be plugged into a tab or something. I'm gonna give it a shot. Worst case scenario, we take out all the screws. I don't think this was necessary, but I feel like this slides over and then comes out. You know, if you see the joinery in here, like it looks like it slides this way and then it comes out. Try one more screw on this leg over here. I don't think it needs this one removed, but I'm not sure. Oh, that's a beefy screw. No way. No way. Why would you do that? It looks like I need to take out these two screws way back here. You see them? Underneath the hinge. The reason I'm saying that is if I flip this over, you can see that one, I think, screws right into the battery or into the hard drive bay. That's annoying. Well, that's definitely, yeah, that's definitely it. So at least that one. Oh yeah, no, that's definitely it. It's like loose under here now. Look at that. Yeah. Okay, let's see if this thing will come off. Hey, hey! Hard drive caddy. Ribbon cable. Is there a dead drive in here? Or is there nothing in here? Oh no, I got Trina. I got the hidden screw in the battery compartment. That was the first thing I thought. I'm like, oh, there's a hidden screw in the battery compartment. There was. Yeah, so we've got an SSD in here. That is 32 whole gigabytes. Wow. And it's SATA, which is nice. So I'll replace this with something else. So it's from 2013. It has a sticker on it that says D-band passed, so somebody ran some diagnostics on it. As of March 2022. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't think it's really working. Let's do, you know what? Where did I put it? The boot SSD, the boot SSD for the Haiku machine we made a couple of weeks ago should slot right in here, and I bet it'll boot right up. We can just run Haiku on this. One sec. Clarjon, one, you're fighting the good fight. Thank you. The state is an oppressive force, and despite police propaganda, you are not required to love your oppressor. That goes for your relationships, too. You're not required to love your oppressor. If you're being hurt in a relationship, you have every right to get out. Let me know if you need that. I can send resources. So, that's what we're going to do. Oh, and Trina, thank you for the offer of the 120 gig SSD. You have no idea. I have SSDs coming out of my ears. I have so many. I'm good. I bought, a couple of years ago, I bought a 10-pack of used Samsung SSDs. They were just 64 gigs. There's a 10-pack for 40 bucks. $4 per SSD. Every single one of them has been perfect. And I just use them for like booting up old computers. For most things like the Windows XP era stuff, like 64 gigs is fine. All right, so let's put this in here. See if we can get this working. So that's going to go this way, like that. Goes in here like this. That goes on top of it. Okay. I don't know how effective that's going to be. The hard drive tray or container door, a little bit of foil tape on it for reasons. If that's supposed to like distribute static electricity, I'm not sure where it's supposed to distribute it to. Feels like it's a good way to get static electricity from outside directly onto the hard drive, but you know, I don't know. I don't design laptops. It just seems like a silly thing to do. Okay, now to put umpteen million screws back in this thing and see if it boots Haiku. That'd be pretty cool. So this one went in the corner. I don't think I need to take this one out. The screws on top of the hinge, though, those are absolutely necessary. That's really wild. Let's see, this one went in here. I don't think I need to take that one out either. Yeah, no, I didn't. Okay. No! There we go. Okay. And the two for the top side. Man, and they're just tucked under the lid enough that you can't get at them with it closed. You gotta open the laptop up to get access to them. Super annoying. It's a wild design. Okay. So let's see. Put the battery back in. Plug this back into power. And see if she boots. What are we thinking? What's the over-under on this thing actually booting? Power on. Ho! Heck yeah! Oh, it's doing it! Oh, look at that! Oh, that screen resolution is so incorrect. Touchpad doesn't work. Let's plug in a mouse. See if the USB works. I'm gonna guess not. Hopefully, though. Let's reboot it with the mouse plugged in, see if that does it. Come on, baby. We've got light on the mouse. It went straight to desktop last time. What's going on now? You know, I'll tell you, this is exactly what it did with my other one, with the Optiplex. It booted the first time, and then I got black screen every other time I tried to use it. All right, well, we've got a Windows XP CD burned, so let's see if we can get this thing to boot XP. Now that we know we have a working drive, open. Open. It doesn't want to open. All right, I think it's locked up. There we go. Okay. XP setup. Asmodeus says it was the era of magnesium alloy frames. Yeah, way beyond the frame. Like, there's magnesium alloy everywhere. Like, hey, what if we just paint magnesium alloy and we make it the whole body of the laptop? Dave Starbucks says, interesting that you had to reboot. Yeah, so this is what I was thinking. Like, the motorized, keyboard lift and drive tray thing on the CF25, I think it was CF25, CF52, something like that I had many, many years ago, was entirely software. Like, it was a BIOS call, but it was software. If the machine was locked up, you couldn't open the CD-ROM tray, because at some point the BIOS had to interpret that what ended up being a key press, like you moved this lever, but it was a key press basically, and then it would open the drive bay for you. And I think the same thing happened there, is that we locked up so completely that even the BIOS couldn't interpret the soft button on the front for the drive tray open. I think that's what happened. 8386SX says the CD drive sounds a lot like a dot matrix printer. Yeah, it's unique. I don't think I've heard one sound like this, quite like this before. Like, it's sort of similar. If I had to pin a similar sound, it'd be the CD-ROM drives in like the clamshell iBooks. Do you remember those? It's kind of a similar sound to that one. (8386SX) says, want a bunch of 64 gig NVMe modules? No. How on earth did you get your hands on 64 gig NVMEs? Are they actually PCI Express, or are they like MSATA? Yeah, no, that's the thing. At least this drive works. I was surprised when it booted a burned CD. Like, an optical drive of this age usually doesn't. Like, the laser is too worn out and it won't work. But this worked fine. As you can see, is working fine. It's bizarre. Oh, Gut Bomb posts about class war and then leaves. What a legend. PCI Express? 64 gig PCI Express NVMEs. And they're not like they're not like Optane or anything. They're just regular Flash. That's wild. I'm super glad we're loading drivers for all these SCSI controllers that this laptop definitely has. Setup is booting. So it's going to be loading the NT kernel. Sounds like it's doing okay. There we go. Okay, so we are in. We are doing Windows XP setup. Oh god, I can't tell what any key is. Let's see, we want to delete this. To delete it, press L, yes, for loss. And we'll set it up here. We'll do a quick format of NTFS. God, Bob says, I think the marker on the keyboard is helping the install process. No, it's not. I'm not a touch typist, so looking down at the keyboard and not being able to see any legends is very disturbing. Exactly. Charlotte says, Kernel executive? This laptop doesn't need executive function, it can just muddle through like the rest of us. And that's why Windows 98 is the most ADHD operating system. In this video, I will. So as far as cleaning this, I don't know what the keys are made out of. They're a little shiny, so it suggests ABS. So I wasn't going to try and use anything super harsh on them. I think magic erasers will work fine on ABS. My worry is that they'll take the they might take the legends off, because I think the legends are just printed on. These keys aren't like double shot or anything. Absolutely nothing special on this keyboard. It does feel pretty good. Like if you hit the keys like on the side of the key, it doesn't buckle. So they're pretty alright as far as like key feel goes. They're a little smaller than normal size because it's a 12-inch laptop, but overall not bad. Clarjo1 Plus asks, do you have any dry erase markers? I do, actually. My entire life is operated by a dry erase board on my refrigerator, actually. It's the only way I can make anything happen. But yeah, I do have dry erase markers. Do you think that'll work? And just marker over it and then erase the dry erase? Yeah, Samsung Sim says, I like the razor thin edges. The thing about this thing is that like the industrial design is phenomenal, like next level. I love the circular trackpad. I love that, you know, if you didn't know that there was a CD-ROM drive here, you'd have no idea, because, you know, the mold line is so consistent, you wouldn't even know. The industrial design of this is fantastic. The components inside, maybe not the greatest, but Interesting. Some permanent markers can be liquefied and made easier to wipe by putting dry erase markers on top. Huh. Yeah, isopropyl should do it. Gut bomb alcohol should be fine to wipe the marker off, but leave the key artwork alone. Yeah, I think it was because it's ABS, you don't want to use acetone. But isopropanol should be fine. Let's see if we boot into XP. Oh, what is my concentration of ISO here? Yeah, I've got 99%. The good stuff. It's what I use for cleaning off my 3D printer print bed. It's literally the cheapest one you can find on Amazon. But it's 99%. Diesel! Diesel should do just fine. Oh yeah, so this is, I forgot about this ISO. This is Unofficial Servers Pack 4. So this thing is going to do, it's got a whole bunch of drivers like streamlined into the CD, and then it's going to do some extra setup at the end of the install process. David Starbuck brake cleaner. Make sure you get that brake cleaner all over the keyboard, nice and saturated. Should be, electronics should be just fine. Don't worry about it. Garth Beagle is here. Hello, welcome to the stream. Diesel is every old school farmer's magic wand. Don't forget about Coca-Cola to clean off the rust. That's as far back as that thing goes. This is super not visible. The sight lines on this LCD are real bad. Real bad. Like the colors are correct at the bottom of the screen, and then you can see the top of the screen's already starting to disappear. You can't even just look at it. The colors are so bad that you can't even just look at the screen. Viewing angle 0 degrees. Oh, it's so bad. Oh, God. All hail the invention of the IPS display. Jeez. I do not miss old TN panels at all. Ugh. Trina says I need to get an III DIY cam. Yeah, I probably should, huh? Oh, here we go. The touchpad work? Our touchpad works! Okay, so, yep. This is going to be called the Toughbook. A very secure administrator password of nothing. It's off by an hour. Well, off by an hour makes sense because it's daylight savings time, and this would have no idea because daylight savings time changed. So 13 minutes of drift is not terrible. That's not Pacific time, though. Time. Okay. Nice. I-8386SX is potato cam. Oh yeah. Yeah, no, the CRC can. Yes, Asmodeus' good old CRC cans all look the same. You go for the CRC electronics cleaner and CRC brake cleaner, it looks pretty much the same. Yes, Windows XP. Like this, like you'd install Windows XP on like a netbook because a netbook couldn't really handle anything more than XP. This shipped with Vista Business, and I think it'd be probably fine running Vista because it's a Core 2 Duo. I'll admit that college round 2 for me was running Vista on a Core 2 Duo, while a Pentium dual core Core 2 Duo with a little less level 2 cache, and it was fine. But this, if we can get the drivers working on this with XP, it should pretty much this should fly in Windows XP. Surfing the internet, safe, fast, and flexible. Considering all of the worst internet-related viruses of, the early 2000s happened on XP, I don't think it was that safe overall. Man, the screen on this is just awful. This form factor with like a nice LED backlit IPS display, like, I don't know, 1440 by 1050 would be great. God, that'd be nice. That'd be so nice. Asmodeus says it was the heyday of normies using computers. I regret to inform you those heydays have not ended. I was just discussing with a friend, they were wondering like why so many people seem to think that having too many files on your computer makes it slower. And I've encountered a lot of people through my years of existing on this planet who don't really understand the difference between storage medium space and RAM. It's all memory, and some of it is faster than other. Some of it's fast and some of it's slow. So if you fill up your memory, your computer goes slower, right? And the sad part about that is like, to anybody who knows like the Stanford model and how computers work and like what this differentiation of RAM and hard drive space is, it's very clear that they're completely different things. But in the age of the iPad and the smartphone, where you don't buy RAM anymore, you buy storage space, right? Like your price options are going to be how much storage space you have. I think that's just, and like Apple's insistence with the last generation of the Mini, that 8 gigs of RAM is fine because all of our RAM is unified and it's perfectly fine, it's super fast. I don't think that's going to stop. I think with the continued like simplification of computers, more people are going to misunderstand how the difference between storage space and RAM. I don't think it's ever going to get better. Not with the way the technology is going. And that serves, who that serves? That serves the tech companies, right? Like if you don't know how your computer works, a tech company can tell you, oh, well, this thing is broken, it costs X $100 to fix it. Sorry. Or they can, they can scare you into buying more internal storage at an inflated price. Hi, Apple. Because you don't know that you can just plug in a USB drive and get more storage. I'm not happy about that. God, Tom says, my favorite is people who call the desktop, like the desktop wallpaper, the screensaver. So many, so many. Check out this cool screensaver I got. They show me a desktop picture. Like, oh yeah, no, it's great. It's very pretty. Oh. Right? Yeah, defragging. Who remembers defragging? I don't know how many hours of my life I spent defragging hard drives back in the 90s. I don't think it ever made them faster. I remember the first really fast hard drive that I got, though. I got an IBM Desk Star. I think it was a 60 gigabyte. It was that generation that was the IBM Death Star. But that sucker was fast. It only lasted about 3 months before it died. But those 3 months, booting up my computer was a completely changed experience for me. It was so fast. I was like, oh, so all the defragging doesn't matter, you just need better hardware. Darn. Oh my gosh, Asmodia says, I knew people who would do it weekly. That seems like too much. That seems like too much. Yeah, right? The 60 gigabyte Death Stars. I had one. It was great for 3 months and then it died. Just like all the other ones. So you remember the big hurricane and tsunami out in Thailand? That like torpedoed hard drive prices in like 2013, 2014, something like that. I bought 4 hard drives, like literally 2 months before the tsunami. I got so lucky. It was 4, weirdly, Hitachi Ultrastars. After IBM sold their hard drive manufacturing business to Hitachi, and Hitachi fixed all the problems with IBM's drives, they actually turned into very reliable drives. I picked up 4 of them. They were the 5900 RPM versions. When 5900 RPMs was like a new thing, you were starting to see it in like the WD Greens. But they were nice. I put 4 of them in a NAS and just did a RAID 5 on them, and those were nice drives. They're only 2 terabytes each though, so I didn't have a whole lot of storage. Okay, so I think we should be booting into XP. Yeah, there we go. Get the press any key. So we should load up the hard drive. Look at that. Look at that. It's so funny, right? Like everybody loves XP. Everybody has fond memories of XP. And XP, when it came out, was absolutely hated. Nobody liked XP. Its system requirements were bonkers. The interface looked like Fisher Price, all primary colors. Nobody liked it. We had no idea at the time how bad Windows would become and how much we would yearn for XP. Look at that. Yeah, don't worry about the automatic updates. You'll never find them. And there we go. We have got Windows XP. Now, the question is how much stuff works. Obviously, the USB is functional because I've got USB mouse. Touchpad works. Can I tap? Tap works. Right-click button is fine. Two fingers doesn't do anything. I don't think it does anything on this trackpad, though. There's not enough trackpad for using two fingers. Let's see. It has no idea what the graphics driver is. I don't remember if this is 915, if this is Intel i9-15, or if this is X3100. Do we have Ethernet? Can we get drivers? Get in there. Various parts of the machine are warming up. The underside is quite warm, a little disturbingly warm. I'm not seeing... I don't think we have an Ethernet driver. Oh yeah, no, we've got nothing. Look at all those question marks. Oh boy. Look at all those question marks. Oh, all right. Well, I think that's going to be some work for myself later. Let's see if we can get this thing cleaned up. Oh, one thing I want to test first, before we shut this thing down and start cleaning it, is what happens if I pull the power. Oh, well then. I wonder how well this battery works. God, the screen is just miserable. Look at how bad that viewing angle is. That's so awful. It's not turning off. Oh, Clarjon asked, does the entire keyboard work? Let's find out. Let's do notepad. All right, let's find out if the entire keyboard works. It's a good point. I'm gonna clean a keyboard that's broken. So start with the number key row. Looks good. QWERTY. Looks good. Also looks good. ASDF, GH, JKL. Yep. Looks all right. I don't think we're missing any keys. Let's see. Caps lock. Hits the caps lock light. F1. Alt F4. Should have copy and paste on F2 and F3. No, F3. Fine. That works. Let's see. F5, F6, F7 should be cut, copy, paste. Inserts the time. Thank you. Okay. Well, I guess that worked. Don't think F6 and F7 do anything. Numlock does turn on the numlock light. Print screen. That's not right. Uh-oh, what have I done? I've pushed a number of buttons. Oh, it's because I have numlock on. There we go. Paste. Yep, print screen works. I think this is a fully functional keyboard, surprisingly, despite all the marker all over it. Yeah, all the arrow keys seem to work. Cool. Oh yeah, Core 2 Duo. Let's do not that. There's our 2 cores. Core 2 Duo U9300. So 1.2 gigahertz ultra low voltage. So yeah, probably would be most comfortable running XP rather than Vista. 1.2 gigahertz. Oof. Yeah, nope, that's a good old Core 2 logo there. There you go, yeah, Asmodeus is right. I'm guessing a U series Core 2 Duo, and it is. It's a 9300U. Yeah, no, it's running off the battery. It's apparently perfectly fine to run off the battery. And I currently don't have a battery warning light either. So it's quite happy to run off the battery. I don't know how good the battery is. That's kind of impressive. That's really impressive. It's just going. Well, it says it has 3 gigs of RAM installed. Does it actually have? Yeah, it's got 3 gigs of RAM installed. That's pretty great. This is a cool little machine. If the screen weren't so awful. Oh, the viewing angles are just horrendous. Alright, well let's shut this thing down and get it cleaned up, huh? I'll find drivers for it myself later. The bottom of the laptop is very warm. Surprisingly warm. I always forget how warm Core 2 Duos actually run. My black MacBook is the same way. Like it's great. You boot it up and it's like, oh, it's nice and snappy. It works really nicely, and then it starts to warm up, and it's like, oh, it gets really warm. Like, don't get me wrong, I love the Core 2 Duo. It's a good chip, but she sure does run warm in laptops. All right, so let's clean this thing. Yeah, probably uses the frame as a heatsink. Most likely. All right, so screwdriver's out of the way here. We don't have to open this thing up anymore. Okay. What did I have? I ran a Core 2 Duo for a while. A desktop like I think I've told this story a couple of times, but like I built an Athlon 64 X2 for X2? I think it was an X2 for my gaming PC. Well after they were, no longer cool. So I was buying used components and well, like new old stock, right? Refurbished stuff. Not too old, but not current gen. So I put this whole thing together. 7600 GT, I think an EVGA motherboard, and an Athlon 64, maybe a 64X2? Maybe it's just a single core Athlon 64. But it was my upgrade from my from my Barton Core mobile Athlon that I had overclocked the snot out of, which is awesome. Love that machine. Um, and the machine that I built worked for about 6 or 7 months, maybe 9 months, and then suffered the capacitor plague. Video card capacitors popped, motherboard capacitors popped, whole thing went in the trash because it was all like, open box, new old stock, didn't have warranties on any of the components, so off it went to the trash. And I had to turn around and get something, to have a home computer. That was my main machine. It just died. And what I ended up doing was going to the university surplus store in that town, and I started out with like a $20, I think, IBM ThinkCenter. It was like a Pentium 4, like a hyper-threaded Pentium 4. I think it was a Northwood with hyper-threading. It was like the 2.8, a 2.93, something like that. It was the one that shipped in every Office PC that was ever made ever from like 2002 to 2006 or whatever. So I picked one of those up, and like that was my primary PC for a while, and then I upgraded once I, got some more money back in my bank account. I went back to that surplus store because like $20 for a computer was a great deal. Bring your own RAM and hard drive, but of course I had that stuff laying around. So I upgraded to an Optiplex, one of the matrix case Optiplexes, if you remember those. I think it was the 780, the Optiplex 780, something like that. Thing was phenomenal. It was I want to say it was like Q35 is the chipset, and it came with a Pentium dual core or like a low end Core 2 Duo, something like that. I ended up upgrading it to an E8600. It was the top of the line Core 2, the dual core, 3.33 gigahertz, and that thing just flew. My God, that thing was fast. I love that machine. Yeah, I got problems like which surplus store, like university surplus. Well, to dox myself from 10 years ago, I lived in Madison, Wisconsin at the time. So I went to the swap store, which was the University of Wisconsin surplus. It was great. It was great. You find your biolab centrifuges and then your IBM Think Centers, just a shelf apart. Yeah, no, exactly. The Wolfdale Core 2s were just so fast. So fast. Yeah, nice. Gutham says about so many 3rd Gen i5 HP machines at University Surplus for $12 a piece. Heck yeah. That's the way to do it. And like for like basic stuff, like Ivy Bridge is still relevant today. I had a pipe organ for sale recently. Wow. So you never know. You never know what you're gonna. There you go. See, Gutham says I still use my Ivy Bridge. It's my home server. There you go. Nice. Yeah, UW Stevens Point. There you go. Yep. The fun part is that I never went to University of Wisconsin. I wasn't a good enough student. I couldn't get in. I mean, I went to UW Oshkosh, UW 0 for a year, and I flunked out. So I went to the School of Hard Knocks for most of my life. It's the ADHD. That's why I didn't do so well in school. I'm going to start small and try and get the schmutz off the bottom of this thing and see if any of these things take off the paint. I hope not. We'll get to the keyboard in a minute. It's been a lifetime since I used magic erasers. Just need to get these wet, right? Oh, hello. Mega Eraser. There we go. Ribbed for her pleasure. Can I say that on YouTube or am I going to get demonetized? I'm probably going to get demonetized. Crap. Oh. All right, well, let's see what this does to it. Let me get this wet real quick here. See if it does anything. I'm shooting for this thing. Not bad. See if we can get any of these general smudges off of here. Seems like the answer is yes. Oh yeah. Hopefully that's not paint. I don't think it is though. It looks like that is dirt and grime. Seems okay. It's doing a pretty good job. Try the top of it. A lot of these are scratches that are just, they're not going to clean out or buff out. I'm not going to clean off or buff out. But there is a lot of just like surface grime on this thing. Not bad. Not bad. Exactly. Exactly. I'm saying too many jokes. YouTube is going to demonetize me for having too much fun. Well, let's see what this does to the keyboard. Get some paper towel ready. Anticipatory paper towel. Make sure I'm not just pushing gunk around on this thing. That's already looking better. Cool. It's going to be the big question mark though. What can this do against the marker? Oh wow. It just deletes it. It just deletes it. Holy cow. All right. I'm not even like pushing on these keys. Wow. That's great. Yes, correct. Yeah. Um, this is my chat is disconnected, but I'm not seeing any dropped frames. Um, this SSD had Haiku installed on it. It booted up, and on the second boot, with a USB mouse installed, nothing. Gave me a black screen. I would be. Oh God, no. Gutbomb says Ecom Station is the OS for you. No, no. That is pain. That is pain. I am not putting OS 2 on this. Look at this! Just deletes it. Holy cow! I was worried. I shouldn't have been. Wow. Unbelievable. I see why they call it a magic eraser. Man, this is great. This is going so much better than I thought it was going to go. Like, there's a whole bunch of Sharpie on this keyboard. How am I going to get it off? Turns out, just magic eraser. Wow. That is just incredible. I know melamine sponges aren't like that super unusual, but that is just like night and day. Holy cow. I'm gonna wipe off the screen and then let's see if we can put some drivers on this thing. Hey, hey. She's looking pretty good. Yeah, no, the magic eraser just deleted it. It was great. So let's turn it on off the battery. It started. Let me. Gimme. There we go. So we've got the USB works because we're able to use the mouse. So I should be able to transfer drivers onto it just using a USB stick, I hope. I think XP is overall smart enough to do that. Let's see. We'll need it to be FAT32 formatted. I don't know if my typical drive I use is that or if it's exFAT. Where is my typical drive? There it is. I'll probably just format it. Let's see if this will just read this. I have no idea what that's formatted as. Okay, well, it sees it. Try and give y'all the possibility of actually seeing what's going on this screen. I still don't have a red battery light on this. Let's see if Windows is going to install this driver automatically. Maybe it won't. Oh, the battery meter works. It says there's 17% battery left. 33 minutes. Oh, here we go. There it is. For a moment. There it is. It found it. It found it. Yeah, I think it's formatted exFAT. I don't think it's going to be able to read it. So let's just make this FAT32. 1.36 gigs. I think this is the Haiku AnyBoot image. So it's just seeing the one, the one partition on it. 1.5 gigs is fine for now. We'll just put drivers on this thing. Drivers. Quick format. There we go. Piece of cake. Quick it is. Generic Marvell RAID controller. Drive D. Drive D is the CD-ROM drive. Huh. They put the CD-ROM drive on a separate SATA controller? That's bizarre. Marvell 6100. Is that a SATA controller? Is that a SCSI controller? I think it's a SATA controller. That's a SATA controller. Okay. Alright. For whatever reason, they decided to put it on a completely separate SATA controller. Yeah, College on OnePlus is like, imagine hooking up a bunch of CDs and DVDs in a RAID. Just have like 8 CD-ROM drives, just all like RAID 5'd together. Alright, let's eject this thing. There we go. And to plug it into here, hope I don't lose my camera. Yay, camera still works. And I think this OS sees a completely different partition, because of course it does. Of course it does. Alright, let me see if I can do, darn it. Go away. See if I can do disk management on this and remove these partitions. Francois asks, are the rubber pads on this laptop still okay? They appear to be. Yeah, these are... This one's missing on this side. These two are here, they're fine. This one's a little bit gummy. This one's fine. This one's also fine. It's not like, this isn't like wearingly gummy, it's just like, it feels like rubber. This feels dry. This feels like it's not even rubber at all. The feet seem okay too. We've got 3 pads on the bottom. They seem okay. Oh, this one actually, now that I mention it, is a bit sticky. These feet on the back though, perfectly fine. These feel totally normal. Little sticky, little sticky, little sticky. So far so good. I'm gonna guess that they'll last maybe a couple more years before they start going oily. Francois says if you measure them, I can attempt making replacements. I actually have a roll of TPU that I'm planning on using to make replacement rubber feet for all of my stuff. So, no worries. I appreciate the offer, though. I haven't posted a lot about my new 3D printer, but it's right here, and it's a monster. I got the Soval, the SVO8, so it's got a 350 millimeter print area. I just printed out some ABS stuff. These are lens rings for a valve index to hold an eye tracking camera that the index does not normally have. This is for the iTrack VR project. For a friend of mine, I don't have an index, but my friend does. So I printed these out for her, and we'll see if they fit. But yeah, the SVO8 is an absolute monster of a printer. I love it. Okay, let's see. Haiku ESP. There we go. Yeah, so it doesn't even see the FAT32 partition. If I delete this, I can't delete it. Of course I can't delete it. Can I mount this one? I think I can. Hey, there we go. Okay. Yeah, no, I can use the partition that XP set up. It just didn't assign a drive letter. So we're good to go there. Let's get some drivers for this thing. Ooh. Yeah, don't one bit. Yeah, what Garth said is correct. Don't use acetone because that plastic is ABS and you'll end up welding it. Acetone welds ABS. Let's see. Panasonic. Let's see. We'll try the easy one first. Panasonic CFW8 drivers. Windows XP. There's no way. There's no way they still have drivers for this on their site. Yeah, I don't think they even make the CFW series anymore. Legacy drivers, maybe? It's a Core 2 Duo, so I should probably be able to install at least the Intel chipset support driver and get a couple of these things figured out from that. Yeah, no, Francois is correct. You know, the stuff if you use like a plastic spudger or a pick, you can just like dig those out with just some water. You don't really have to use anything. I would say, yeah, isopropanol. Yeah, no, Garth has got it. Try removing as much as you can manually. Just like use a plastic knife or something, and then clean it off with isopropyl alcohol. I think that'll probably work the best. That sucks. That sucks. I should probably check my PowerBook 5300 and make sure that it hasn't also all of its rubber parts haven't degraded. Let's see. Intel chipset drivers. Windows XP. I think Phil's Computer Lab has some. I think Phil's drivers go up to XP. Yes. It's 2002. 2004. 2004 is the newest his goes to. Includes support for 915. Do we think it's a 915 or do we think it's X3100? Boy, SU9300 makes me think it's probably X3100. Graphics Media Accelerator 4500 MHD. Oh, it's GE45. Yeah, it's one generation older than the X3100. Okay. Hmm. Technically DirectX 9. Sure. Uh-huh. Let's see. Let's see if I can find this. Because Intel has yeeted most of their drivers. Oh, that's for 64-bit XP. Really? Come on, baby. Foxconn's got a driver for it. Might have to lean on that. Dell. Of course Dell has a backported driver. Of course. 1 bit. I don't have a plastic knife. I'll use an angle grinder. You know, I picked up um, a plastic razor blade off of Amazon and like a pack of replacement plastic blades for them. It has come in so handy for just getting stuff off of computers, of old computer equipment. Um, I know I haven't shown it recently, but 1 sec here, y'all, while I'm looking for drivers. Um, but my Quadra 700 has been divorced of its plain talk microphone holder, thanks to plastic razor blades, because they're great. You can put some leverage on it, and it doesn't harm the case plastic. It's a worthwhile investment. Worthwhile. Alright, this I think is the one I'm going to use. Dell also has a download for the GM45, which I think is the mobile version of the chipset. The driver's a little older, which I think is probably better. I'm going to mark this as Intel GM45, and this one is the G45. It's true. I wish I knew what the heck the Ethernet on this was. By the way, it's still running off a battery. Oh, vendor 8086. It's an Intel network adapter. Or 232. Oh, that's the Wi-Fi. Cool. Dell's got it. Dell's got a driver for it. Of course Dell has a driver for it. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Do they have a Windows XP driver for it? It looks like they don't. Let's see. That is an Intel Wi-Fi Link 5100 AGN. Let's see. If you haven't seen this before, by the way, if you're staring at a bunch of question marks in Windows XP, you're like, what are these drivers? You go into the driver details and it'll tell you the PCI string, which will give you the vendor and model codes. You can look those up. Everyone who publishes a product under PCI has to register their product code, so you can always find what it is. Now, whether you can find drivers for those is another story entirely, but it looks like yes, Dell does have drivers for it for Windows XP. Thank you, Dell. Dell's been saving my butt recently with old OEM machine drivers, because Dell's been keeping the drivers online forever, which is great. And these drivers usually just work with other machines. Oh, thankfully. Alright, so that'll be the Wi-Fi. So we've got chipset, we've got graphics, we've got Wi-Fi. I can't imagine the audio driver is anything other than like Azalea. Oh no, Vendor 11D4. Is that Realtek? PCI Vendor 11D4 product 1883. Analog devices. What are you? AD 1883, the Sound Max. Nice. Well, let's grab a Sound Max AD 1883 driver for Windows XP. Oh, Lenovo. Oh wait, no, there's a Dell version. Of course, there's a Dell driver for it. It's interesting. The 1881 had a DOS version. You could do DOS emulation with the 1881. Huh. Interesting. All right, so that is the sound driver. Okay, we should be ready to party on this thing. You know what I should do is I should copy over. Maybe a little Quake 3? What do we think? Where is my install of Quake 3? Where did I put my install of Quake 3? I thought I put it in here. Well, I've got 3D Mark. Let's put 3D Mark on there for sure. I have some weird games backed up in here, but I've got Hexen 2. We can try that. Of all things. Chose to back up some strange games from my other PCs. Where's my... Expendable Crisis? Yeah, no, that's for testing newer machines. Where's my... I've held on to an install of of Quake 3 for so long that apparently I just took it for granted, and at some point it got deleted on one of my many hard drive moves. That's funny. That is funny. All right, well, we've got some Hexen 2 and we've got some 3D Mark, so let's run those on this and see how bad this is. I'm sure it's going to be awful. All right, see you around, Claudia. Have a good night. Oh, yeah. Yeah, David Starbucks says, I once had to find drivers for a DFI LAN party board by looking up the various ICs on the internet. Tedious. Tedious doesn't even start to describe that. Oh gosh, I was installing Windows ME. Why? Why would you do that to yourself? Okay, we're doing well. Stream is still operational. Windows Explorer just crashed. That's good. We're doing great. There we go. Let's eject this USB stick. Plug her in. Oh, we got a low battery warning from Windows. You should plug in. You know, I think I will, because we're going to do some benchmarking. Battery is charging. This is wild. See if this works. Trying the chipset drivers first. See if this works. Looks like it is. Oh my god, Garth? At one point, very early in the channel, I got this bug in my brain that I was going to grab every revision of this mouse. This is like the mouse that you had in like 2002, right? Like this was the mouse everyone had. I was going to grab every revision, every colorway of this mouse and like test them and find the best one. It turns out when you buy 20-year-old mice, most of them don't work. This one's probably one of the ones that's in the best shape. Ironically, this was not in any packaging. Like, I have one of these in packaging where it has completely yellowed while still in its packaging. But yeah, no, this mouse shape is like eternal. I think they still make mice with this shape at Logitech. Like, I think the G series of their gaming mice is basically exactly this shape. I think they just, and today, like, they just pull the buttons all the way out to the edge, so there's no edge on the current ones. This is the very unfortunately named MBJ 58. This is the mouse everyone had in 2002 or whatever it was. Okay, it installed a bunch of drivers and says continue. Looks like I got the right one. It installed the 45 Express chipset. Let's reboot, see what happens. Tarina says it was named after BJ Honeycutt from MASH. Something tells me it wasn't, but still kind of unfortunately named. Yes. Francois says that if I recall correctly, they're USB PS2 compatible. They are. You get one of those little turquoise colored dongles, and you plug it in. You can plug it into a PS2 port. I have like literally like 8 or 9 of these. It's ridiculous. Most of them don't work, or they work, but like if you click, you get like 3 clicks instead of 1 click. Okay, so we should have our chipset drivers installed now. Nothing has broken, which is a good sign. So let's get, I forget which one of these is. I think this is the graphics driver. Nope, that's the Wi-Fi driver. Are you the graphics driver? You are. No, that's the audio driver. Okay, fine. I didn't download the graphics driver. That's dumb. Par for the course for me. I was looking at the driver and I didn't download it. GMA 4500, Windows XP driver. There we go. Oh my god. It's a, oh no! The installer's a web page. That's so bad. Oh. Whose fault? Whose fault was it that Windows XP was so insecure? It was everyone's fault. Why would you let a web page install a driver? Apparently that was the wrong driver. Try this again. Driver not found. Reboot. Run setup again. Okay, fine. Fine. Whatever. See if we can get the Wi-Fi working. Efreet, hello, welcome to the stream. Yes, Dell apparently has drivers for this thing for XP. So Panasonic has driver packs for this for Vista and for 7. They officially supported upgrading this to Windows 7. Adapter problem, driver not installed. All right, well, let's reboot this thing and see what happens. I thought I got the right PCI device IDs, but we'll see. Reboot this, and I will get this. Come on. There you go. Get this graphics driver on here. Go away. Dave Starbuck, I've never gotten a virus ever. Maybe because I don't go to iffy websites. Same. I also don't ever run antivirus. And like, oh, I bet I know why it says the can't find the adapter. Let's go turn the Wi-Fi on. Maybe it doesn't have the Wi-Fi module. I don't know. We'll figure it out. It's fine. That wasn't the right sound driver. We don't have sound. But this should give us graphics. What is your issue? something about .NET. The latest version of .NET Framework to run this application correctly. Which ones were the drivers? Wi-Fi link. Chipset driver. There's the graphics driver. Okay. The one that needs the version of .NET. Okay. (2011), really? Jeez. Okay. What the heck version of .NET is that gonna need? Whew. Maybe no graphics drivers today either. Oh yeah, we're already well over 2 hours. Let's see. It's a good chance it's .NET Framework 3.5. Oh yeah, I was telling a story, sorry. So I don't use antivirus. I mean, I have like Windows Defender on here because it's built in, but whatever. Back in, was it XP? Was it, I think it was the Windows 7 days, early Windows 7 days. Again, I'm using a machine without antivirus. Never had a virus problem. I let a friend of mine use my computer to check her email. And the next time I logged onto my machine, I had a virus. I'm like, how? All you did was check your email. What did you do? Like, it was literally like maybe 15 minutes. She was checking her email, and I got a virus. So yeah, it's definitely, you can definitely train yourself as a user, to not attract viruses onto your machine. But boy, oh boy. And like, she was pretty technically competent. I was surprised that suddenly my machine had a virus on it. It's like, really? Oh, thankfully it wasn't too bad. Like, this was years and years before We got, you know, ransomware that encrypts your entire hard drive and like asks you for Bitcoin. This was a fairly benign virus. It changed your desktop wallpaper and set itself as like the start program, and it would, you know, display a threatening message, and that was about it. You could go in command prompt, safe mode, command prompt mode, and get rid of all of its files pretty easily. But it was annoying. It was super annoying. Spodius, she clicks all the email like, yeah, I guess that's what it was. Ah, just unbelievable. Oh yeah, I need .NET something or other. So let's transfer this. I hope it just means .NET 3.5. It's like the .NET everyone used for forever. Still uses sometimes. And like, you've seen how this thing performs. Maybe you haven't. I don't know. The LCD is pretty hard to see. You know, you've seen how this thing performs with XP. Like, this is a great XP machine. The issue has always been like manufacturer driver support. Right? If you get a laptop and Intel decides they don't want to make drivers for it, you're SOL. Have a good night, Trina. It's good to see you here. See you on Sunday. Who remembers this logo for .NET? Remember the colored logo for .NET? Remember when making software for computers was fun? Not that .NET has ever been particularly fun. It's a little bit clinical for me. Oh, there we go. It is actually doing something. I really hope this is it. Let's me get the... Because the .NET stuff is just for the control panel. Just the stupid Intel control panel. I wish they would just let you install the driver without the control panel. Heck, the .NET stuff might be the installer only. Might actually have nothing to do with the driver itself. Okay, let's see if this works. No! Doesn't like it. Alright, I'm gonna see if I can manually install this driver. Really screw up this machine. Oh, no, it doesn't like it. I wonder if these aren't actually not actually Windows XP drivers for the GMA 4500. Does the 4500 even have XP drivers? Who knows? Oh, I grabbed the one that was for XP64. That was my bad. Ah, that was dumb. Let's see if I have an XP32 driver. There's two options. I assume that the other one is the XP32 driver. Oh no, that's for 32-bit Windows Vista. It's not looking good. Gotta use this one already? Oh no, that's okay. We'll give this a try. I have an Intel HD graphics family driver for Windows XP. Give that a shot. See if that works. That was indeed the right version of .NET to install. Unfortunately, that was a Vista driver. Please work. No, I'm guessing that's for XP64. Does not like it. Does not like it. It's really annoying. All right, we've got 2 more to try. If neither of these work, then we are kind of stuck. I know this is riveting. Oh, doesn't like that one either. It's a video driver. Two three zero 264. It's a 2A42. It's the device ID. Two A42. Spell that correctly. Mobile 4 series chipset. Supported on FreeBSD. We should probably install FreeBSD on this. Let's see. Oh, there's a driver for it. For Windows XP 64-bit. Ah, really? Damn it, Intel. Supposedly this is out there. No, it looks like the oldest is XP 64-bit or Vista 32-bit. Darn. Well, unfortunately, it looks like this is as far as this thing's going to go tonight. Looks like most folks have left, so I think I'll wrap it up now. Oh, Gupom asks, what video is in there anyway? So this is a mobile GM45 chipset. So it's got the Intel integrated GMA 4500. So it's the successor to the X3100, which was Intel's first DirectX 9 compatible graphics chipset. I think somebody from Pixel Pipes Discord attempted to run Skyrim on X3100 and it did not go well, as you can imagine. But this is basically just a follow-on. I think it's just a clock speed bump. I don't think there's anything significantly changed about the architecture. Yeah, no, yeah, oof. Oof is right. Anyway, let's close it down for the night, huh? And I'm gonna switch over to my ACAM. All right. Well, I hope everybody had fun. I hope this wasn't too boring. Sorry about the long driver installs. But it's kind of cool to see how easily this thing cleaned up. I was really surprised that the magic erasers took off that Sharpie that easily. It was very impressive. And that the battery works. The battery works in this thing. I'll give it a full charge while I'm heading off into VR, and I'll see how long the battery lasts. I think it'd be kind of cool to see. Anyway, I hope everybody's had fun, and I hope the rest of your weekend goes well, and I'll see you on the next one, huh? All right. Have a good rest of your night. It's good to see y'all. May the PC parts be ever in your favor.